Okay folks, this tutorial we're going to be looking at a kind of option for allowing you to paste into a selected area, and for this particular tutorial I'm going to continue with using the text tool. So having my text tool set up in a chosen font, I'm going to apply, or I'm going to just use the word wood. This will become a bit more apparent as to why I've chosen the word wood in a minute. So quite happy with how it's looking at the moment. I might actually just increase the size of it, just put it up to 200. Okay, and we'll just move that over. Okay, so I'm happy with that. Now, with the paste into function, what it allows you to do is create a selection or a selected area and then simply paste an image into it. Now, for the purpose of this, I'm going to use a wooden texture. So what I need to do is open up the image I've saved, which I sourced from the internet. So if we go to File, Open, I'm going to use this wooden panel image. Okay, plenty of images out there that I could have used, so I'm quite happy with this image as it is. What I'm going to do is kind of take all or part of the selection, so I'm just going to select full image, and I'm going to go to Edit, Copy. Okay, I've now copied that selection of the image. I'm going to go back to this document here that I've got my text generated, and I'm going to use any selection method, but the probably quickest one would be using the Magic Wand tool. Because this is all just a block colour, it should easily pick it up. So I'm clicking on that. I can either hold in Shift for multiple selection, or change to Add to Selection, and continue to select everything else. Okay, so that's me got my selected area. Now I'm going to go to it rather is Edit, Paste Special, and Paste Into. And what I'll do is now paste the copied image selection that I have into a mask. Now here we go, we've been talking about masks the past couple of weeks. You'll notice that the white area is the area being affected and the black has not been touched. Right? Now this layer here in particular, if I just name that texture, can be moved about independently. Imagine the text rather being cut out a piece of card. The letters have been cut out of a piece of card, and underneath we have this picture of the wood. That can be moved about, and you'll see the image through these letters. Now you'll notice that the image is actually considerably bigger than the text itself. So if you feel that the image is too big, if we go to Edit, Transform, Scale, if I zoom out, you'll notice where the bounding box is. So if I hold Shift in, I can decrease the size of this, which might condense, and in fact will condense the texture overall. And if I was happy, just click on the tick. There we go. Again, I can move this about a bit further for this wee not to appear, or not to appear. Even actually having those lines in there might be nice, a bit off centre over the side of the circle here. But anyway, you can play about that and move it to suit you, and straight away we're starting to get a bit more of character. It seems to fit. You know, you could search the internet trying to find fonts in particular that might add to this, but you know, as I said, it makes sense when I've used the word wood and then used this wooden texture behind it. So to take this a wee bit further, what we're going to look at doing is I'm going to go back to the wood text layer here, and I'm going to apply some layer styles to it. I'm going to start off with a drop shadow. So I'm just going to increase the distance and the size slightly, just blur it a wee bit, and spread. Okay, so I'm happy with that. I'll just keep the angle as it is. I'll apply a stroke at the moment, but I may take that off now. I'll keep it fairly thin, just to let it pop out. Is that okay? That's me now applied my effects to the wood text layer. I can always hide that. Not see them too much. You can still see the drop shadow, but that's how it looks at the moment. Now, I can similarly apply layer styles to this image, and I was talking about this earlier on. It doesn't necessarily have to be to a text layer, so let's double click and bring up some effects and see how these might affect. Now what I'd like to try and do is make this wood texture pop out a wee bit. And if I look at this bevel emboss, you'll notice that on the default settings it's an inner bevel. You can change that to see the effect of what the other selections do. I'm going to stick with an inner bevel technique. You can change it to chisel hard, chisel soft, or smooth, and also the depth. Now if I go to something like chisel hard, you start to see a difference if I play about with the depth, and also things like the size. Okay, and with wood, this might work in this nice kind of chamfered edge. You can soften the blend if you wish. If you want to keep it a bit more rugged, you can do it, a bit sharper. Okay. Also play about with it, things like your angles to suit. Okay. And that's just one example of how you can try and make a texture kind of stand out with using the layer styles, in particular when pasting into a selected area. A good way to practice this, I find, is using text and trying to kind of maybe add a bit more personality and character to text. I could always take off the stroke from this original text layer to see how it affects it. The other thing I might want to look at doing is bringing in the original wooden image and putting it behind it to have this kind of popping off of it. In fact, if I do that just now, just for the sake of it, in fact, I've still got this here. So what I'll do is just deselect that. If I bring the panel side by side, I'll just drag it over and drop it and move the layer to below my text. Okay. Now with the size of the image being so big behind it, you might want to look at resizing it, but you can kind of get the idea of where I'm coming from here, of allowing that to kind of stand out. Again, I could always turn on the stroke for one if I really wanted it to stand out. Having that effect would allow it to kind of stand out a wee bit better. So now this kind of technique of pasting into can be applied pretty much to anything. If you have a selected shape, you can apply images into it, and it's almost like you're cutting out a piece of card, a paper, a shape, and then laying it on top of another image to reveal what's underneath it, kind of like a window. So it could be a variety of different shapes. It could be that you're selecting, for example, you know, a piece of clothing on a model, and then pasting into it a new piece of clothing, and then playing about with kind of resizing it. If you're to do something like that, it'd be a bit more advanced technique when you're looking at transform tools, like playing about with distort or perspective to try and get the shape. But worth giving it a go. Try it out. Maybe choose a couple of kind of nice textures, try and applying them to kind of words, and see how they look. Okay, thanks.